Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the CR-1 conditional resident application. This is generally issued for those who are married to an American citizen, but they've been married less than 2 years at the time of their entry to the United States. The CR-1 conditional resident is entitled to a 2-year green card upon entry, and they need to go ahead and deal with what's called a lift of conditions 90 days prior to the 2-year anniversary of their arrival in the U.S. in CR-1 status. But more to the point with respect to this video is, are copies sufficient or are original documents necessary when processing an application and a petition for this type of immigrant visa through the immigration apparatus? Well, the short answer to that question, that depends on the circumstances in the given case. I have seen many cases where, quite frankly, copies were sufficient, although certification and authentication are an issue with respect to copies. I'll get into that in a moment. But copies oftentimes are going to be sufficient. In certain non-routine cases, I see copies are not necessarily sufficient, and Department of Homeland Security officers or Department of State officers want to go ahead and see original documentation pertaining to the case. Again, it's all going to be dependent on circumstances. Another issue with respect to copies is the authentication and certification of those copies. Generally speaking, USCIS or the Department of State apparatus with respect to copies want to know that those are copies of a genuine document, and for that reason, certain authentication needs to be undertaken. We deal with this as a matter of course with respect to many of our routine cases, but those of you who have sort of a burning question with respect to copy versus original documentation, it's a good idea to contact a legal professional to ascertain whether or not a photocopy is going to go ahead and work for a given document or whether an original is going to be necessary.